Infinite loading in Next.js with server actions. First, create a page where you want to implement infinite loading. Now, create a server action that fetches the first set of data from the database and returns the result as a response. Next, create a component that maps to the data and displays the result. Back in our page, let's import the server action and the list component. Let's fetch the data with the server action and pass the data to be displayed to the list component. With this in place, you should now be able to see the list of your data that is pre-rendered on the server. Now, in the list component, let's import InView from React Intersection Observer and display it after the data has been mapped. We'll pass the threshold to 0, trigger once to false, and an onChange handler that gets triggered whenever the InView comes into the screen. Now let's modify our server action to receive cursor as a parameter. We'll also add a where clause in the database query, which will return only those data whose ID is greater than the cursor. Now fetch the total number of records from the table. Check whether there are any more data that we can load. If there are, we'll send the ID of the last record as a next cursor and send all this information as a metadata to the response. Back in our list component, let's rename the bookmarks props as initial data and set it as an initial state. Now let's add a new function that will call the server action with the cursor and append the result into the state. In the onChange handler, whenever the component is in view and the cursor is not undefined, we will call this new function, and we'll display the InView component only when the cursor is not undefined. With this, you now have a fully functional